Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hadith of the day, narrated Adi ibn Hatim, heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying, save yourself from hellfire even by giving a half of date fruit in charity. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Dr. Marina Akhtar, PGR Community Medicine. Today my topic of presentation is International Labour Laws and WHO Workplace Safety Guidelines. I am presenting this topic under the kind supervision of my professor Dr. Saira Afzal. Learning outlines of today's presentation. Introduction to international labor laws sources, international labor organizations, international labor standards, international labor organization in Pakistan, general guidelines on occupational safety and health by OIC. Learning outcomes. At the end of the presentation, the participant will be able to describe the international labor laws, their implementations in Pakistan, and the safety standards at the workplace for and employees and laborers, how they affect their performance. International labor law is the body of rules spanning public and private international law which concern the rights and duties of employees, employers, trade unions, and governments in regulating workplace. Definition of definition of the topic: often defined as the set of rules which apply through the public international law, that is the law between different countries or states, and the private international law, the law between individuals or businesses who live or operate in the different countries. It sometimes also includes comparative law, legal principles as they apply across different countries. Labor law. The adaptation of the labor laws and regulation is an important means of implementing international labor organization ILO standards, promoting the ILO declaration and the fundamental principles and the rights at work, and putting the concept of decent work into practice. Definition: often defined as the set of rules, sorry, international labor organization. International labor organization labor laws are the set by International Labor Organization and must be voluntarily adopted by signatory countries to become the part of law. They include such matters as prohibition on slavery and the child labor. The main aim of the ILO are to promote rights at work, encourage decent employment opportunities, enhance social protection, and strengthen dialogue on the work-related issues. International Labour Organization. It is a tripartite body representative of employer, laborers, and government. Till now, 183 nations are the members of ILO. Their fundamental principles are: labor is not a commodity, freedom of expression and association is essential, poverty acts as a danger for prosperity, war against want requires to be carried on, workers and employers should enjoy equal status in free discussion. Structure of ILO. It includes international labor conferences, governing body, and International Labour Office. International Labour Conference examine the social problems, adopt convention for ratification by government. It is the electoral college of the conference that elect the government body. Governing body. It is the representative of the governments, employers, and workers. And third is International Labour Office. Tripartite structure of ILO. The ILO has a tripartite structure unique in the United Nations system in which employers and workers representatives, the social partners, have an equal voice with those of governments in shaping its policies and programs. International labor standards aimed at promoting opportunities for women and men to obtain decent and productive work in the condition of freedom, equity, security, and dignity. Essential component in the international framework for ensuring that the growth of the global economy provides benefits to all. Regional labor standards. Another form of international labor law is the set of the rules that applies across a selected group of countries. The most prominent example is European labor law, which sets standards applying across the European Union. Rights for employees under European labor law include freedom of association and the right to organize, the right to collective bargaining, right to strike, no child labor, a set of minimum labor standards relating to matters such as wages, hours, condition of employment, equal pay for equal work, health and safety protections, worker compensation, protection for migrant workers. Principles of labor law in all countries. In addition to the laws which have international reach, such as ILO standards and European Union laws, there are various general principles that need to be considered in each country that you expand into. Employees contracts, minimum wages, employee termination, payroll obligation, payroll taxes, employees benefits, health care cost, workers compensation, pensions, and unemployment insurance. Convention and recommendation. Conventions or protocols, which are legally binding international treaties that may be ratified by member states. A convention lays us down in the basic principles of implemented by ratifying countries. Recommendation, which serve as a non-binding guidelines, are related recommendation supplements the convention by providing more detailed guidelines on how it could be applied. The right of fundamental conventions are freedom of association and the protection of the right to organize convention 1948, right to organize and collective bargaining convention 1949, forced labor convention 1930, abolition of forced labor convention 1957, minimum age convention 1973, worst form of child labor convention 1999, equal remuneration convention 1951, discrimination employment and occupation convention 1958. Governance priority conventions encourages member states to ratify them because of their importance for the functioning of the international labor standard system. The four governance conventions are Labor Inspection Convention 1947, Employment Policy Convention 1964, Labor Inspection Agriculture Convention 1969, Tripartite Consultation International Labor Standards Convention 1976. How international labor standards are created by ratification of the convention and protocols, universality and flexibility, updating international labor standards and standard reviews mechanism SRM. The benefits of international labor standards: a path to full and the productive employment and decent work for all. The 2030 goals: the wellness in the workplace improves employee health and improves an organization's bottom line. An international legal framework for fair and stable globalization, a level playing field, a mean of improving economic performance, a safety net in times of economic crisis, a strategy for reducing poverty, the sum of international experience and knowledge. How international labor standards are used. There are models and targets for labor law, sources of international law applied at the national level, guidelines for the social policy, other areas of influence, corporate social responsibility, CSR, the promotion of inclusive, responsible, and sustainable practices in the workplace, free trade agreement, civil society, the role of employers and workers organization. ILO Pakistan. Pakistan Decent Work Country Program. Child Abuse Prevention. The Decent Work Country Program 2016 to 2020 is the providing technical assistance to the government of Pakistan, the employers and the workers organizations to progressively eliminate the worst forms of the child and bonded labor in the rural economy. Employment promotion in the Pakistan. The Decent Work Country Program 2016 to 2022 emphasizes on the following strategies. For example, sport skills development, sport enterprise development, and self-employment opportunities through training, sport apprenticeship, and recognition of prior learning, strengthen the capacity of the labor department to address labor market issues. Equality and discrimination in Pakistan. Creating equal employment opportunities for youth and disadvantaged, disadvantaged men and women through inclusive and gender responsive skills, employment, and enterprise development programs. Tools for gender responsive values chain analysis and improve the quality and quantity of the women's participation in the agriculture value chain. Green jobs in Pakistan. The transformation of the economy, sustainable, low carbon economy providing decent work. Promote the concept of the green jobs in three sectors, including construction, tourism, and energy. Informal economy in Pakistan. The labor force survey 2017 to 18 states that informal sector income accounts for 71.7% of the employment in main jobs outside agriculture, more in rural areas 75.6% than in urban areas 68.1%. The Decent Work Country Program 2016 to 2022 has its focus on the promoting decent work in the rural economy. International labor standards in Pakistan. The government of Pakistan has ratified 36 ILO conventions, including 8 fundamental conventions as of now. Further, the Constitution 18th Amendment Act 2010 substantially changed the roles and responsibilities of the federal and provincial government, including the devolution of the labor administration to the provinces. Labor market governance and working condition in Pakistan. Pakistan has ratified two important governance conventions, namely Labor Inspection Convention number 81, Tripartite Consultation ILS Convention number 144. It provides a strong foundation for development of effective labor inspection system. Predominantly, labor administration is developed in the provincial government in Pakistan. Labor migration in Pakistan. As of the December 2019, more than 11 million Pakistanis have proceeded abroad for employment to over 50 countries through official procedure. The migration of the Pakistani worker is mostly concentrated to the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, 96% with Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates hosting the majority. Safety and the health at work in Pakistan. ILO reports 2.2 million people die every year due to the work related accident or illness. More than 270 million workers are injured and an estimated 160 million suffer work related illness. The Decent Work Country program focuses on the development and implementation of occupational safety and the health OSH mechanisms for vulnerable strategies of the worker in the rural economy such as agriculture, fisheries, and domestic work. Social security in Pakistan. Assas program in 2019, Labor Welfare and Social Protection Expert Group, which developed as a comprehensive program of Manzoor Ehsas with particular focus on informal and excluded segment of the worker in the social protection. The most disadvantaged groups such as poor women and elderly and disabled people and the migrant workers. Workers and employers organization in Pakistan. Technical assistance to the employer organization EOs and worker organization WOs in Pakistan, including to its core constitution, namely Employers Federation of Pakistan and Pakistan Worker Federation. Effective and innovative use of the social media and the creation of online groups for workers and employers helped fast dissemination of the critical information on COVID-19. Organization of the Islamic Cooperation. Organization of the Islamic Conference or Organization of the Islamic Cooperation is an international organization founded in 1969 consisting of 57 member states, 49 countries being Muslim majority countries. The scope of guidelines are the scope of this guideline is to standardize the occupational safety and health OSH level in the OIC countries. The guidelines shall apply to the all sectors of activity, both public and private, industrial, agriculture, commercial, administrative, service, educational, cultural, etc. In that event, the safety and the health of the worker of OIC members must be ensured as far as possible. Physical factors includes risk hierarchy shall primarily be applied in the workplace. Besides, the employers shall take the precautions as follows. Machines or the work benches shall be maintained at the regular intervals. The employees exposed to the physical risk at the workplace shall be trained and information resulting from these risks should be communicated. The training shall include, in particular, the nature first is the nature of such risk. Second is the measure taken to eliminate or reduce to the minimum the risk, including the circumstances in which measures apply. Third is the exposure limit values of the national legislation. Fourth is the correct use of PPEs. Fifth is the why and how to detect and report symptoms of the health effect of the physical risk factors exposure. Sixth is the circumstances in which employees are entitled to the health surveillance and the purpose of the health surveillance. And this constitute of first is the noise. A sound absorbing material, there should be sound absorbing material. B is the distance between the noise source and the person exposed shall be increased. The noisy machinery should be enclosed as far as particularly reasonable. D is proper maintenance of the machines and equipment on a regular basis. E is hearing protection device to minimize adverse effect of noise. Vibration. In this context, proper working schedule using less vibration equipment and adequate rest shall be planned and applied. Thermal comfort. Devices should be used for heating and cooling should be placed appropriately, maintained and checked regularly. In case of working continuously in extremely hot or the cold environment, and windows and the roof lights and avoid the negative effect of sunlight, that should be provided. Adequate exchange of their appropriate to task and environmental conditions shall be provided. Illumination. In this context, workplace should be illuminated sufficiently by daylight. In case which beneficiation for daylight is not possible or during night work, artificial light should be provided for adequate lighting. Dust. Water shall be used at the place where dust is released. Aqueous working wet methods. Proper ventilation and control equipment should be provided. Appropriate PPEs should be provided. Pre-employment and periodical medical examination of employees shall be done. Ventilation. For the environments where works emitting dust, mist, fumes are carried out, chimneys and air vents of capability to extract these shall be provided. At the workplace where suffocating, toxic or irritating gases and smoke arising, ventilation installation should be designed to protect the health of employees, and mask and other protective equipment shall be provided. Radiations. Radioactive substances shall be labeled as a attention radioactive substance. B is labeled with radiation symbol. C is workplace adequately ventilated and shielded. D is radioactive waste shall be collected with impermeable waste collectors and kept in lockage cabinet and closest or rooms. Only authorized staff is allowed to the work. All employees provide with appropriate radiation monitors, appropriate PPE, as well as undergo regular periodic medical examination. In case of emergency, there should be plan for probable emergencies. Preventive and restrictive measures shall be taken. Emergency response method, evacuation plans that are prepared to be hung on different locations in the workplace. Emergency team shall be drilled, shall be involved. In conclusion, in any global expansion, complying with international labor laws as well as local labor laws is crucial. A failure to do so can lead to enforcement action from the regulators, legal actions from employees, and a significant dent to the company's reputation. Throughout their international expansion, enterprises needed to consider the application of international labor standards as well as region and the country specific rules relating to employment contracts, termination, and other minimum standards. Now, coming to the recent updates. First is mental health, WHO mental health at workplace. Key facts are decent work is good for mental health, poor working environment including discrimination, inequality, excessive workload, low job control, job insecurity, pose to a risk to mental health. 15% of the working age adults were estimated to have mental disorder in 2019. Globally, an estimated 12 billion working days are lost every year to depression and anxiety as cost of US 1 trillion per year, $1 trillion uh, per year in lost productivity. There are effective actions to prevent mental health risk at the work, protect and promote the mental health at work and support workers with mental health conditions. The WHO recommendation for guidelines for mental health are the recommendation cover organization interventions, manager training, worker training, individual intervention, return to work, and gaining employment. The guidelines on the mental health at the work aim to improve the implementation of evidence-based intervention for mental health at work. Second article is occupational health and safety in construction industry in Pakistan using modified SIRA method. For any industry, occupational health and safety is a business strategy to foster a safe and healthy working environment. In developed countries, the companies are focusing on the workplace safety, but in the developing countries, these construction industries like Pakistan are not properly focusing on the OHS because uh, because of the high cost of PPE, safety training, and activities. The risk within the modified SIRA, the criterion alternatives are prioritized based on the risk priority number, MCDM methodology, and fuzzy topsis, respectively. The result of the RPN risk priority number shows that the most of the accident in the construction industry in Pakistan occurs due to the deficiency of PPEs, followed by electrocution due to electrical equipment, improper way of using the available PPE, falling of the personnel from a elevated platform. Similarly, the result of fuzzy topses show that the chemical and the fire hazard are the most responsible for the accident in the construction industry of Pakistan. Malnutrition and food insecurity in children labor in Sindh, Pakistan, a cross-sectional study. The result of these studies show the total of 634 child laborers. Overall, 15.5% of the children were stunted and 30% were wasted. The prevalence of stunting was highest in the children working in agriculture, 27%, and prevalence of wasting was highest in the migrant children worker, 35%. About half of the children, 51%, were suffering from the food insecurity, and food inadequacy was mainly in the consumption of vegetable potatoes. 98% of the children had inadequate intake, and legumes 97%, fruit 96%, meat poultry 95%, milk dairy 82%. Conclusion is the nutritional status and food insecurity of the child laborer of Pakistan are comparable with the general population, highlighting the grave situation of the country with regard to food security. Now coming to the multiple choice question. First MCQ is a construction company in Pakistan is planning to resume operations after a hiatus. Which ILO workplace safety guidelines should the company adhere in order to protect workers from occupational hazards. Option A is providing proper training to the use of PPEs. B is disregarding safety protocol to expedite a construction timeline. C is ignoring economic consideration for workers' comfort and well-being. D is encouraging workers to take unnecessary risks to meet deadlines. E is allowing unsafe work practices to save cost.
A.
Yes, A is the right answer. MCQ number 2 is Pakistan has been an important and active member of ILO since 1947 and has ratified 36 ILO conventions, including all 8 fundamental conventions. In Pakistan, ILO overreaching goal is option A employment, option B high wages, option C education, option D decent work, option E justice.
E.
Option D decent work. MCQ number 3, a company in Pakistan is accused of discriminating against pregnant employees by denying them promotions and benefit, which international labor law prohibits discrimination in the employment, including on the basis of pregnancy. Option A, ILO Convention on Discrimination. Option B, ILO Convention on the Right to Organize and Collective Bargaining. Option C is UN Convention Against Torture. Option D is Kyoto Protocol. Option E is Hague Conventions.
D.
Option A, ILO Convention on Discrimination, Employment and Occupation. Where would you go if your fire alarm was activated during the working hours in closed industrial building? Option A, to manager's office. Option B is to fire assembly point. Option C, exit the building and assemble at the some distance area. Option D, wait near the exit area for other employees. Option E, sit at your place patiently.
C.
Yes, C is the right answer.
C.
MCQ number 5 is a garment factory in Pakistan imposes excessive overtime to its workers without providing appropriate compensation or rest breaks. Which international labor law safeguard workers' right to fair working hours and rest? Option A, ILO Hours to Work and the Rest Period Convention. Option B, ILO Convention on the Occupational Safety and Health. Option C,
Option A.
Answer is option A. Yes. The program that is designed to improve health problem of the employees before they even arise is called option A health promotion, option B health safety promotion, option C wellness promotion, option D economics, option E social safety.
A.
C wellness promotion. 7. A company in Pakistan forces its employees to work in hazardous conditions without adequate safety measures, resulting in several workplace accidents. Which international labor law aims to ensure occupational safety and health for workers? Option A, ILO Convention on Occupational Safety and Health. Option B, ILO Convention on the Forced Labor. Option C, UN Convention Against Torture. Option D, Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Option E is UN Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination.
B.
Answer A. The ongoing globalization in the country needs reforms in the labor laws. The forces oppose changes in the existing labor legislation is option A government, option B labor and trade union, option C employers association, option D human rights commissions, option E international labor organization.
E.
B.
D.
B labor and trade unions. Option 9 is Decent Work Country program is providing technical assistance to the government of Pakistan, the employers and the worker organization to progressively eliminate the worst form of what labor in the rural economy. Option A, woman labor. Option B, old age labor. Option C, disabled labor. Option D, child labor. Option E, unskilled labor.
D.
Yes, D is the right answer. MCQ number 10 is ILO in Pakistan work with the UN non-governmental and civil society organization to contribute to the national economic and social development objective and international commitments such as sustainable development goals. All of the following are aim of ILO except Prohibition of the child labor. Option B is promotion of occupational health. Option C is social security. Option D, early marriage
D.
protection. Yes, D is the right answer. This is the key of MCQs, and this is the YouTube link of our channel. Kindly like and subscribe, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Very well done. Very good presentation. Just a few questions. You have beautifully described the discrimination about pregnant women in international law organizations. Would you please let me know where you have presented this? Because this is a very important point and it should be re-emphasized. So, would you please go to that slide where you presented it?
Ma'am, it was mentioned in the MCQs. I think I have not clearly mentioned in the slides. I forgot to mention in the slides.
Yes, I have listened your presentation with great interest because there are many important things that you have described, but this point has been missed in your slides. Similarly, you have talked about the food insecurities. Again, it is a very important topic and very important aspect where more work has to be done in Pakistan in the terms of research, evidence-based practices, and many other things. And when we talk about the food insecurities, one of the marginalized communities are those who are in labor class. So it is very good to emphasize and re-emphasize on two important points. One is the rights of the women in ILOs, the right of pregnant women in ILOs, and the food insecurities especially for the children in labor class. So very well done. You have described these things in your MCQs, and I think it is a food for thought for everyone. So thank you very much. So see you in the department today. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you so much, Miss. Allah Hafiz.